Today, we're gonna talk about a brain hack that's so important, it just might change your life. So if you're not ready to change your life, and you'd like to stay within your comfort zone, then click off this video. This video isn't for you. But if you're like me, and you're like Snowflake, and you're interested, keep watching. But first, you think we have time to make a smoothie while the intro rolls? Yeah?
Hell yeah, let's make a smoothie.
Yeah, alright, let's do it. Smoothie blender broke. Good. So when I was in university, I had a terrible sleeping problem. For an entire semester, I basically stayed up until 3 or 4 a.m. every single night. The reason for this was a negative feedback loop that I had created for myself. I would procrastinate every single thing I had to do. I would procrastinate getting out of bed in the morning in exchange for more time watching YouTube videos warm and comfortable under the blankets. I would procrastinate doing my homework and assignments in exchange for spending time and hanging out with my friends longer than I should have. I'd procrastinate doing work on my business in exchange for late nights staying up playing Rainbow Six Siege, yelling at my teammates for not giving me good callouts. And I'd even procrastinate doing my homework by doing work on my businesses instead. You know there's a problem when you've procrastinated so much that instead of doing your homework, you're now doing other work instead. In this case, for me, it was working on my businesses. I had created this negative feedback loop of procrastination for myself that would result in me wasting entire days on my phone or jumping from one thing to another just to look at the clock at night, wondering where the hell the day had went. I would successfully push off doing everything until late at night, and it resulted in me getting no sleep, having a terrible sleeping schedule, and staying in bed until the late afternoon, getting absolutely no sunlight as if I was some sort of vampire. This right here is at the core of what makes people successful or unsuccessful. The ability to delay gratification in the short term in exchange for long-term gratification is what separates those who become successful and those who don't. Every day we engage in these little battles where we're forced to choose between gratification in the short term or gratification in the long term. Success comes when you sacrifice enough of these battles and trade short-term gratification and short-term pleasure for pleasure and gratification in the long term. The easiest example of this is going to the gym. If you go to the gym and suffer physically and sometimes mentally, your muscle fibers are broken down and they come back and regenerate stronger than they were before. But the caveat here is that in order to make any noticeable size or strength gain, it requires dozens of trips to the gym and months of consistent short-term sacrifice in exchange for the benefit of having a healthy, strong, and aesthetic physique in the long term. If you choose long-term gratification and long-term success enough times over a long enough timeline, this is what leads to radical and drastic changes to your life in the long run. Imagine you had two lines that originated at the same point but were just a few degrees apart in their path. In the beginning, these lines originate at the same spot, but over a long enough timeline, these lines end up at drastically different points. This same principle applies to your life. And of course, you don't want to live a life of misery and starve yourself of any fun, but it comes down to this one choice that we all have. Do you want to live a sustainable life filled with long-term and consistent pleasure, or do you want to live a life of petty, short-term pleasure, like scrolling on Instagram or going on your phone and procrastinating when you know you shouldn't? The choice is ultimately yours to make, and it's a choice we make every single day. So, what's the hack? What's the secret to rewiring your brain to be able to make these decisions and win these battles every single day? Well, here's what someone told me, and after applying it to my life, I found it to be the real hack. The second you feel yourself not wanting to do something is the exact moment that you should go and force yourself to do the thing you're supposed to do. Making this small decision and enough times on a long enough timeline, like I mentioned before, rewires your brain to avoid procrastination and instead have a bias towards action. There are two ways I very recently found to train myself to do this and to successfully rewire my brain to constantly do the things I don't want to do in the short term in order to get the results and outcomes I'd like in the long run. The first way I found is going to the gym as soon as I wake up, setting my gym clothes and outfit out the night before, and as soon as I wake up, putting it on and going right to the gym. The second successful way I found of doing this and retraining my brain is to take a cold shower as soon as I wake up. And I know there's a lot of controversy around cold showers and people claiming that cold showers make them levitate through the air and have marathon sex for 30 hours and grow their penis by 30 inches, but it's not for any of those reasons. This sets the tone and precedent for the day that I will be forced to do certain things that I don't want to in the short term in order to get the results and outcomes I'd like to achieve in the long term. So by starting my day this way, I'm sending my mind, my body, my brain, my spirit, my zen, my aura, a positive and strong message. And if you're set on finding success, I urge you to find something you can do every single day, preferably when you first wake up, to make sure you're rewiring your brain for success too. If you like this video, then make sure you like, subscribe, and you follow me on Instagram to get more of me, because apparently some of you like what I have to say. I have no idea why. You get more of me and more of Snowflake over there, so make sure you do all that, and I will see you guys very soon.